ready. This gentleman wants to know if his party can stay here till he gets his car fixed.
Why, yes, of course.
I have Miss Arden, the movie star.
Mavis Arden. Mavis Arden. Gladys.
There's another hotel down the road about a mile.
Oh, nonsense, Catherine. Mavis Arden, the movie star, in person. I'm positively thrilled. And we've just the room for her, with the loveliest petunias growing outside the window, and a beautiful hand-carved bed brought from England by my grandfather. You see, I'm really not a boarding house mistress.
An economic condition.
Well, I'll just get the room ready.
Turn on that radio for a change.
They're coming! They're coming right now! They're coming down the road right now! Come on, here comes Mavis Arden! Come on, everybody! Well, I hope so. It's Mavis In my time, women with hair like that didn't come outside in the daylight.
Sit back a little. Sit back. Sit back. Move over. Mavis?
AK was right when he said we're making pictures for a lot of maroons.
We welcome you, Miss Arden. We hope your stay at the Haven will be a happy one.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
If I could just have a moment's rest, then I'd be so glad to meet my public. Come, Morgan.
Mavis, please.
Don't please me.
You think I'd have walked 6 miles?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Sit around this terrible dump? Why, a ghost would be willing to haunt this place for nothing. I wouldn't stay here if it was embroidered in jewels.
Oh, my dear, I'm sure you don't want the good people to get the wrong impression of you.
Oh, my dear, dear friends, what must you think of me? My tragic, tragic temperament. This tour has been just one intolerable thing after another. And we artists, we artistes, we live on our emotions, you know.
How true.
You must forgive me.
Why, that's all right. I've been sort of on edge myself today.
I assure you, I had no intentions of casting
Aspersions.
aspersions on your lovely home here.
No, indeed. Miss Arden is quite overcome by it.
Why, it's charming, but too charming. And your interior is just as picturesque as your ulterior.
Miss Arden has had a very trying day and...
Well, let me get you a nice hot cup of tea.
Tea?
Yes, you know, tea.
Oh, tea. Oh, that would be simply divine, but I don't want to put you to any trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all, my dear. No trouble at all. Let us get Miss Arden a cup of tea.
Oh,
Well, hurry up.
oh, yes.
Charming girl.
Miss Arden, I want you to know Mrs. Struthers and Aunt Kate. Mrs.
Miss, young man, Miss Kate Barnaby. I'm glad to meet you. This is my great niece, Joyce.
Miss Arden, this is indeed thrilling. Thank you so much. It's all so lovely, so very lovely. I've often said to my producer, A.K. Greenfield, president of Superfine Pictures Incorporated, you know, A.K., I said, if I ever build another house, it's going to be one of those simple little colonial cottages, just like this one here of yours. That's exactly what I want.
Oh, Miss Arden, thank you. Thank you so much. And I have a lovely quiet room with a nice soft bed and a private bath for you. Why don't you go up and lie down, and I'll serve you tea up there. Then you can drink it in comfort and have a nice rest. Your maid's taken your things up already.
Oh, she has she? Well, it does sound tempting, just to relax for a tiny moment. And now if you'll allow me to talk to Mr. Morgan alone, please, for just a moment.
Why, of course. Come along, Joyce, Catherine.
Now, don't get sore, Mavis. You think I'd have framed that marathon for myself?
Why, you jump off a 10th-story building into a bottle of ink if you thought you could keep me from getting to Harrisburg tonight. You figure I got a lot of phone calls coming in. You think I'm going to meet that guy Harrigan. Well, I am. I'm going to meet him if I have to fly there.
Well, that's one way your public hasn't seen you.
Don't be funny.
I'll lift it up. Just put it under.
Okay.
What large and sinewy muscles. Where's that room they got here for me?
And I got here before I discovered I'd left my briefcase in Washington. If you'll go get it, I'll see to it that it's worth your while.
Sure, Mr. Morgan.
Boy, you don't know how you make me feel.
Let him in.
Yes, my mother.
Mavis, you look charming.
Don't I always?
Yes, but particularly so now. I suppose it's the country air. Well, we'll be leaving in the morning.
Why the hurry? I like it here. In fact, my type should get better acquainted with farm life.
And here's something else that may upset your plans a bit. The young man you saw through the window, the young man with the large and sinewy muscles, has just left for Washington.
Why, you cheap...
Keep it up. I'd like these country folk to get a load of their favorite star in action.
Clyde just got back from Gettysburg with the Corps, Mr. Morgan.
I thought you went to Washington.
I intended to, but Clyde wanted to go, so I sent him. Would you mind coming down to the Corps?
Yes, and as far as I'm concerned, Morgan, you can keep going down and down and down.
I think it's practically a miracle that you're right here in this very room, and I saw you only last night in Washington. It's the most thrilling thing that's ever happened to me.
Really? Well, that's very sweet of you. You say he owns the gasoline station?
Yes, and he helps support the house, too.
Married, I suppose.
Well, not yet he isn't, but
Well, further talk would be a waste of time.
I beg your pardon, ma'am?
Oh, I was just saying, if you'll just sit down the tea, I'll try and drink it.
Oh, how silly of me standing here holding this tray all this time. Well, you must think I'm an awful ninny.
Oh, no, my dear, not at all.
Shall I pour it for you?
No, I'm quite capable of doing that myself. You've been very good to me now.
Miss Arden, I promised I wouldn't annoy you, but I was wondering, would you be kind enough to do something?
Autograph a picture?
Well, yes. Well, how did you guess?
I sort of sensed it. One's senses become very keen in my profession.
I've got a beautiful picture of you over in my room. I'll run and get it.
Lovely, but don't run, my dear. You might fall and get hurt. I'll be here for some time, I'm afraid.
Oh, this is wonderful. Golly! Mr. Morgan.
Huh?
Do you think there's a chance for me in the moving picture business?
Well, I don't know. I understand that Superfine Pictures Incorporated is looking for a new stenographer.
Well, I don't know how to typewrite. I only got as far as 6B.
Oh, well, then, of course, you want to be an actress.
Oh, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan, now look.
Falling in love again, never wanted to.
I've got it. Baby Leroy.
Oh, no.
Zizou Pitts.
Oh, now, Mr. Morgan, you're just teasing me. I can take off Zazu, but that was Marlene Dietrich.
Oh, I see. Can you take off the 4 Marx Brothers?
You mean all at once?
Well, gradually, if it'll be any easier for you.
No, but I can practice.
That's fine. You practice very hard, and then maybe I'll talk to you again before we leave for Hollywood.
Oh, Mr. Morgan. Oh, that's just done.
Oh. Hello. Nice and cool this afternoon.
Is it?
I'm sorry I don't carry spare parts.
But of course not. I wouldn't expect you to. I'm terribly grateful for what you've done.
But what if... Oh, that's all right. It's really an honor, you know, to be of service to you.
You think so? That's sweet. Real sweet.
Oh,
You know, you remind me of someone I know.
I do?
Just who is it?
Well, I have a brother in York. Lots of people get us mixed up. His name's Ed Norton.
No, I've never been in York. Have you ever been in Hollywood?
Hollywood? No, but I'd sure like to go.
Why, you mean you'd like to get in pictures?
Acting?
Yes.
No, it's the mechanical part of the movies that interests me. How they hitch up the sound of pictures and all the technical details.
Yes, it's marvelous. But too marvelous.
Yeah. Well, I think I could do it a whole lot better.
Is that so?
You see, I've always been crazy about machinery, autos, radios, and all that junk. You know, put things together and take them apart.
Yes, like Einstein.
I'm not that good, no.
You never know.
I've been working on a new principle of sound recording, and I think I got something.
Oh, it's lovely. What is it?
Oh, it's probably not worth a darn.
Now, don't be modest. Modesty never gets you anything. I know. Now, show it to me.
It's all pretty technical. I'm afraid you wouldn't understand.
You don't know what an understanding person I can be, especially when it's in connection with pictures. Why, it's my life. Now, won't you tell me?
Of course, you know the principle of synchronization of sound in pictures. Alternating currents of light that vary with the intensity of electrons.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Good. Now, my idea is to utilize the theory of the stroboscope.
The what?
The stroboscope.
Oh, yes, of course.
That is, the loudspeaker makes one vibration for every time light passes the photocell. You could use an oscilloscope for that.
Why not?
No reason at all, you could. That would take care of the rotating, vibrating, or oscillating movements, which you have to blur under direct illumination. I think the sketch shows it plainly.
Oh, you draw beautifully.
Oh, this is just rough. Now look here. You see this line here represents the direction of the light ray.
Why, it's a cunning little line, isn't it?
And where these two lines cross...
You know, you have beautiful hair for a man.
Well, it's thick anyway. Wash it a lot. That's the secret. They tell you not to wash it, but that's an exploded theory.
Oh.
And where these two lines cross... It's hard to explain on paper.
Why, you're doing beautifully. I couldn't draw a straight line myself.
I tell you, I got a model in the workshop. One I've been working on, if you'd like to see that.
Oh, in the workshop, huh? Oh, I just love to see your model.
One hears such terrible things about these movie actresses. But I saw at once that she was a real lady.
Bah!
Is this workshop very far away? Not that it matters, because I adore walking in the country.
No, it's just a few steps more. You see, I've synchronized light and motion. The shutter which controls the light beam revolves at the same rate of speed as the fan blades. They synchronize and become one, which makes it appear that the fan is standing still. But my only trouble now is to stabilize those speeds. Well, that's it.
Why, it's stupendous. And I can be of great assistance to you. I can't tell you the number of men I've helped to realize themselves.
Well, now, say, I don't know how to thank you.
Well, don't bother with that now.
I've kept you a pretty long time.
Not long enough, perhaps.
Well, anyway, I think we'd better start back to the house, or they might think I've run off with you.
Would you, if you had the chance?
Well,
We'll go into that later. Hey.
What?
I said, hey. Reminds me of my first picture, The Farmer's Daughter. Do you remember it?
Well, it sounds familiar.
Oh, that's the one where I start out on the farm and then wind up singing in a nightclub. Then, disillusioned, I go back to the farm in the end. It was a lovely story. I felt very sincere in it. I love it.
Come on, you girl. Over you go.
I wonder who that is. That guy.
That's what you get for being famous, Miss Arden.
Don't trample me. Stay back. You'll all get a picture. What are you? Line them up over there, will you?
Come on, get in line. Come on.
Now, this here's a fine place to work. Come on, get step up.
Thank you, Miss Arden.
What are you doing in the haystack? Looking for a needle?
No, four-leaf clover. The music and
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Arden. I'm using it to adjust my invention. But I thought I turned it down low enough so nobody'd hear.
But my dear, I love it. Go right ahead with your work.
Well,
I won't even know you're here.
I'm afraid it's kind of chilly down here. You won't catch cold, will you?
Cold? Why, I don't know the meaning of the word. At home, I lie about with hardly anything on.
Well, I suppose you can get used to hardly anything.
My, isn't that a divine tune? Don't you adore dancing?
Yes, I do.
Oh, what do you intend doing with it after it's complete?
What do I intend to? Oh, you mean this? Well, I guess the inventor never thinks about that sort of thing. What would you suggest?
Oh, I've been seriously thinking about it. The invention, I mean. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it would revolutionize the whole picture business.
You really think so?
I know so. But you'll have to take it to Hollywood.
Oh, not a chance. I don't sell enough gasoline out of those pumps of mine to buy a ticket to the state line.
But you don't have to.
I don't what?
I agreed to take you to Hollywood myself.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, yes, I am. I've talked it all over with Mr. Morgan. He thinks it's positively a marvelous idea, and so do I. And I'm going to have you meet all the big executives in Hollywood. Why, they'll just thrill at your invention. Why, you'll be making so much money you won't know what to do with it. Oh, lovely music, isn't it?
To Hollywood.
You like to dance, honey?
Boy, wouldn't that be a break.
I wouldn't make up with Bud Norton if he was the finest man in the world.
That's what he is, and you know it.
I do not know it. Oh, Aunt Kate, I love Bud, but I'm crazy about him only now.
But now what?
My pride.
Your pride? You mean your family's pride? Now, you listen to me. You want Bud, but you're not willing to fight for him. I had my chance once, and I was too proud to fight. Even now, when I think about it, it does something to me inside. You've got to work for love, just like we've all of us got to work to earn a living. And if this woman's got something that's taking him away, you find out what it is and add a little bit to it. If the going gets too tough, or sock below the belt, sometimes you just have to do.
Oh, you like my perfume?
Oh, so that's what it is.
Probably need more. Which means, speaking of love.
No, perfume's a wonderful thing. Why, do you know they make it out of the darndest things? Horses' hooves, potato peelings, and coal tar, and... Why, do you know there are over 600 byproducts of coal tar?
Well, I always say science is golden or something like that.
You mean silence is golden?
Yeah, golden. 18 karat, you know. light and music. It does seem a shame to let...
Flash. Mavis Arden, beautiful motion picture actress, was reported kidnapped tonight while en route from Washington, D.C. to Harrisburg on a personal appearance tour. The police have been notified and an intensive search is being conducted for the glamorous star of Drifting Lady.
He's a kidnapper. He's a kidnapper.
Who's a what?
In there. He kidnapped Mavis Arden. It says so over the radio. We gotta get a gun. We gotta get the police at Gettysburg. Come on.
Well, if he's kidnapped, why don't she say something? Why don't she do something?
Well, maybe he threatened her life if he does. Maybe he's gonna throw acid in her face.
Well, what do we do?
Come on. I know what to do.
You're not very romantic, are you, dear?
Well, I guess I haven't had much time for it.
But I feel you could be if you let yourself go.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You know, honey, it isn't often I get a chance to talk to someone who understands. You don't know. You don't know how I'm suffering for my career. All because Mr. A.K. Greenfield, president of Superfine Pictures Incorporated, loves money. Money, what does it get you?
Well, it seems to have gotten you pretty nearly everything a girl could want. Automobiles, jewels, and swell clothes.
What do they matter? When I've missed the one thing in all this world that really counts. Love. The tender, honest love of some simple man who understands me. And here I've been practically a slave, chained to a 5-year contract that forbids me to marry. A slave to A.K.'s greed for gold. Gold.
It does seem terrible when you put it that way.
Only I could meet someone before it's too late. Someone like you.
Me? You can't mean that I'm nobody. I haven't anything. Not a thing.
Honey, you got everything. Everything my dream man needs to make me happy.
Do you mean that?
Oh. Look into my eyes and read the truth.
Yes, your eyes. It's sort of hard to tell what color they are. It's like
what?
It's like the water in Miller's Pond. In the winter with the sky overhead, it's as blue as anything. And in the fall, when the leaves turn, it's sort of gray-brown. And your hair.
What about my hair?
It reminds me of golden corn tassels waving in the sun. I've never seen hair like it outside a magazine. Oh, I guess I'm talking like a fool.
No, you're just divinely sweet, and I'm kind of crazy about you.
Do you mean that?
Do I? Why?
Listening to the music?
Hello, Aunt Kate. I was just working on my drawings.
Well, keep right on working.
Miss Arden heard the music and came down to listen to it.
Oh, music lover. Well, then, we can all sit down here and enjoy it together.
Perhaps we had better turn it off. We seem to be disturbing everybody.
Oh, don't. It isn't often we get a chance at any nightlife in this house.
Maybe you don't give it a chance to develop.
Aunt Kate, don't you think it's kind of late for you?
Not too late, I hope. The Night Owl Serenaders come on at 2. You love them, Miss Arden.
At 2?
It's almost that now.
Oh. I really must be going. I'm usually in bed at this hour.
This must be one of your off nights.
I'm beginning to think so. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Oh, don't go. Oh, I thought we could have a nice visit while we were listening to the music.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You spoke of cooking at dinner. Have you tried this new way of cooking spinach? You take your spinach.
You take your spinach. I don't need any. Good night.
Come on, Mavis, forget about this fella. It's for your own good. You know you've fallen for it.
What about it?
Well, aside from the question of your contract, there's Joyce.
Oh, I figure that's just a school day romance. I played that part, too.
No, it's deeper than that.
All right, all right. Don't try to sell it to me.
You know that chap's invention probably isn't worth a nickel.
Yes, and it might be worth $1 million.
Mavis, this is the first time I've ever known you deliberately to hurt anyone. You're going to break his heart, and you're going to break hers, too. They're crazy about each other.
So what? I'm only interested in his invention. And besides, I have a right to my feelings, too.
Well, that's different. These two may never be rich or amount to much, but they've got each other. They have each other, and before long...
You don't seem to... Now, what's that?
You know what that is, Mavis.
I don't understand. You mean the girl is...
Yes, Mavis. This morning she broke down and told me everything.
Some fine goings-on around here.
Oh, now, don't be that way, Mavis. We haven't the right to cast the first stone.
Maybe you haven't, but I get the right to cast the rock at Gibraltar if I want to. And I thought she was a simple country girl.
But she was, Mavis. That was her undoing. They're just babes. Babes in the woods.
Yeah, well, they should have kept out of the woods.
I thought you'd be more understanding than that, Mavis. More, Do you remember your picture, Purity and the Maiden?
Oh, I remember. Why, they held it over at Paramount for 10 weeks.
Well, Joyce reminds me so much of the girl you played in that. A country girl, deceived by her own innocence.
Yes, it was a beautiful part. I always felt it had more of the real me in it than anything I've ever done.
And you remember the scene where she meets the man who deceived her? He thinks she's going to bawl him out. Instead, she forgives him. She says...
Yes, I know. I've learned through pain the joy of perfect understanding, because suffering has taught me to be big enough to forgive. I was marvelous in that part.
That's because it was the real you speaking, Mavis. And now that you know the truth, the tie that binds this boy and girl together, you can't take him away from her.
I ain't taking him away, you and your evil-minded innuendos. I suppose the rest of the world be satisfied to believe the worst of me.
I'm afraid so, Mavis. The world is your public.
It does seem terrible to sacrifice Buddy's future just because of a lot of foul-minded people.
You can still help him.
Believe me, I must have a moment or two alone. A moment or two to commute with myself.
I know you'll do the decent thing, Mavis.
Get out!
There ain't been any scandal yet. You can thank me for that. But now, if you let him go without fighting for him, you ought to be trounced with a wet willow branch.
There's nothing I can do. It's too late.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
Mr. Morgan, did she listen to you this morning? Did she say she would?
What she says doesn't mean a thing. It's what she does that counts. She hasn't made a move yet.
Well, I'm all ready.
Oh, Bud, I'd like to talk to you for just a moment.
Why, sure.
You must be brave, my dear. I won't be able to take you with me to Hollywood after all.
Oh.
No. Don't look at me with those great bewildered eyes.
What?
Don't make it too difficult for me. Someday you'll understand, perhaps.
But what's happened? I haven't done anything, have I?
You haven't done anything, my dear, and nothing's happened, only that our little interlude is ended.
Oh, what?
I mean, it's ended.
But I don't understand.
Well, you see, I'm a creature of whims, and this plan was one of my mad, mad whims that I've decided to forget.
Why, Miss Arden,
Oh, why, you're taking it so bravely, so splendidly. you must try and forget me.
Forget you? How could I?
Well, if you can't, then remember me kindly for just a brief moment. When October comes around again with its blue skies and sudden showers, remember that strange October woman who drifted into your life as casually as a summer cloud drifts over a green field and then drifts on again.
Of course, it is disappointing, but still, I suppose it's the only...
Oh, be careful.
I'm sorry.
Why, it'd break Gladys's sister's heart if her baby didn't get this sweater now.
Who did you say?
Gladys's sister. She's got the cutest baby you ever saw.
Well, Mavis, we're all ready.
You dirty...
Come on, hurry! Come on! There he is. There's the man that kidnapped Mavis Arden.
What is this? Take your hands off me. Kidnapper? What do you mean, kidnapper? I'm a press agent, you fools. Listen, tell these fellas who I am.
With pleasure. Why, he's a wolf in wolf's clothing.
That's enough for me, ma'am.
All right, take him out.
Thank heaven I found you in time, Mavis. He'll pay for this. Kidnapping is a federal offense, and if he doesn't hang, it'll surprise me.
Hang? You mean they really believe he kidnapped me?
Oh, didn't he?
Why, no, I thought this was a joke. And you were paying him back with one of his own tricks. Oh, just a minute, officers. I'd like to explain.
You don't have to explain anything to me now. What a chump I have been.
Now listen, Morgan.
Don't Morgan me. I'm through with your press agent. I wasn't checking and double-checking on you just because I was loyal to AK. Well, maybe I was when I first took the job, but I got to like you because I thought you had some feeling. Then I found I liked you even more because you didn't.
Oh, you did, huh? Oh, do you boys mind stepping inside for just a moment? Now listen, honey.
You'll probably laugh at me when I tell you, Joyce, but
What, Bud?
I believe she had a case on me.
What's your name?
Mrs. Strellis.
What kind of a place is this?
Your lips were made to kiss.
That's what I use it for.
But for me only. From now on, there'll be no other men.
Why? Men of my life.
Oh, yeah? AK shall hear of this, I promise you.
Oh.